The DC Circuit Court of Appeals has issued its long-awaited decision today in the Nicopure Right to be Smoke-Free challenge to the Deeming rule and TCA as it's applied to vapor products. Find out more on this edition of Industry Insider. Hello and welcome to another edition of Industry Insider. In the long-awaited ruling to the Nicopure and Right to be Smoke-Free lawsuit, the court says PMTA does not violate the Administrative Procedures Act. The court has held that the Tobacco Control Act's pre-market authorization pathway for new products does not violate the APA, and that both the pre-clearance pathway for modified risk claims and free sample ban are constitutional. In the original suit, Nicopure and R2BSF raised three challenges. First, they argued that the FDA violated the Tobacco Control Act and Administrative Procedure Act by not providing an easier pre-market authorization pathway for e-cigarettes. Secondly, they claimed that two provisions of the TCA violate the First Amendment. Lastly, they challenged the ban on distribution of free samples of tobacco products, including e-cigarettes, as suppression of constitutionally protected expressive conduct. The court explained that they are unpersuaded by these challenges on the grounds that e-cigs are highly addictive and supposedly pose health risks to youth. The court believes that before any new tobacco product may be marketed, its manufacturers show the FDA that selling it is consistent with public health. A decision that directly groups combustible tobacco with e-cigarettes, which are already known to be 95 to 97% safer than traditional cigarettes. They also explained in their ruling that the Act's ban on distributing free e-cigarette samples runs afoul of the First Amendment because, quote, free samples are not expressive conduct, and in any event, the government's interest in preventing their distribution is unrelated to the suppression of expression. While it is understood that e-cigarettes have been classified as tobacco products because of their nicotine content, the DC Circuit Court seems to refuse to acknowledge the stark contrast between combustible tobacco and ENDS products. Moreover, the court is using this precedent set by the big tobacco industry to make calls regarding the future classification and treatment of ENDS products. The court argued that e-cigarettes have not been shown to reduce the incidence of conventional smoking and that there's insufficient data to draw a conclusion about the efficacy of ENDS products as a cessation device. They also claim that, quote, the industry is not seeking approval of e-cigarettes as smoking cessation products, nor is it instructing users in cessation. Both of these statements are completely false. They explained that because Public Health England's study relied on data that did not reconsider the population effects of e-cigarettes, among several other problems, the FDA, unlike the industry, did not find that the study was sufficiently conclusive on the relative risks of using different tobacco products. The court used extremely vague reasoning to defend their argument, and the record shows this in spades, despite their final ruling. While the prosecution steps back to evaluate next steps, it's currently unclear how they'll move forward. What do you believe would be the best move for them? Please share your thoughts with us down below, and as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell button to keep up to date with all of our Fight for Flavors content. This has been Nick with Industry Insider, and we'll see you next time.